The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Did Aaron Glenn give Jet fans a reason to believe? A Jets insider says yes. We'll talk about that and much more when Robby Sabo from JetX will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We building something, and it's not always going to be pretty. Who want to fly with the Jets?
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, here on a Tuesday. Before we get started, it is Veterans Day, so just want to acknowledge and thank all the great veterans out there. Thank you for your service. To all the Asmaniacs who are veterans, thank you for all that you do for our country. With that said, let's talk some New York Jets football. And a reminder, since it's a Tuesday, it means it's a raffle day. So if you want to enter our weekly raffle, we will allow you to do it for the final time during this show. We're giving away a Darrelle Revis signed football, a Joe Klecko signed helmet, and a Wayne Corbett signed football with the inscription that says Mr. Third Down on it. Speaking of Wayne Corbett, our guest hosts a weekly podcast with Mr. Third Down. We say hello to the co-founder of Jets X Factor, Robby Sabo. Mr. Sabo, 2 straight wins for the Jets and a quick turnaround on Thursday against the Pats in New England. How we feeling?
You know, I'm looking forward to seeing how they respond Thursday night, quick turnarounds. But, you know, first order of the day, you use me as the raffle guy during the week. What's going on here? Every Tuesday, the raffle starts?
That's right, man. Tuesday weekly raffles. First show with you.
Is that where that commission comes from? Nice. Thank you.
You're never actually on for the raffle part, though. That's at the end of the stream. You know, the Robby Sabo conversation is the precursor to the raffle at the end of a Tuesday show.
I gotcha. Hey, you learn something new every day. Yeah, no, listen, Thursday, you don't expect to win, obviously. The Pats are flying, coached extremely well. You know, I think most fans had Vrabel atop the list in terms of the head coaching search this past offseason. Jets had him in. It shouldn't be a shock to see what him, McDaniels, and May are doing. And McDaniels is a big part of it. We can't forget about him. So it'll be interesting. You know, no Garrett, but I don't think it's one of those injuries that it's not massive in terms of the situation they're currently in. You know, if you're contending and you need Garrett, I mean, that's one thing. This is very, very different in terms of what Aaron Glenn keeps saying. He wants to build a foundation. You know, my retort has been to that whenever he says that is, you know, I don't disagree. I agree foundationally in terms of what you're saying, but specifically, what does that mean? And the most important thing is winning games in terms of foundation. So the Jets fans who, you know, are losing their minds over Mendoza and draft talk, I mean, just put yourself in timeout in the corner. We're at the midway point of the season. It is so insignificant to worry about draft positioning right now.
Well, the reality is this order is going to change a million times over from now
hundreds
until the end of the year. And look, some of these teams, by the way, that the Jets are going to be picking in the same area with, they already have their quarterbacks, right? Tennessee, the Giants, for example. So I think we all got to relax with the different draft scenarios, and let's talk more about it when we get closer to the end of the season.
Quarterbacks will change too. I mean, I know it doesn't change much from in-season NFL until the draft. It changes more so, you know, prior to the season. If you look at lists at this point last year or 6 months ago, completely different. Mendoza was not number one. But still, every game is so crucial. And if you're really a fan of Aaron Glenn and this team, you pay attention to the foundation stuff and you want to see victories. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, look, we want to see improvement above everything else because let's be real. You make those trades last week, it sends a signal to everyone that this regime's not going anywhere. We had the conversations about one and done for the head coach if they finished winless, if they only had one win, right? But at 2 wins now, with still 8 games to go, you want to see improvement because I don't think he's going anywhere,
No,
which is why, Robbie, I want to talk about a column that you wrote over on Jet X Factor. Here's the headline: the Aaron Glenn quote that inspires New York Jets fan hope. Something Aaron Glenn said after his team's 27-20 win over the Browns should instill confidence in all Jets fans. The whole column is on the JetX website. I will post the link in the live chat for people to read it as we're talking about it. But break down what you heard from Glenn that should give me, a Jet fan who's been very skeptical of this coach so far,
me
some
too.
legitimate hope.
Yeah, I think we've been in lockstep in terms of our criticisms of this head coach. And it's not unfair. It's been completely objective and fair across the board. I'm also someone who covered the team in the summer and was very positive about what I saw. It's not just that he kicked it old school this training camp. It's that he did all the right things in terms of what you want when building a program from the floor. But I kept saying it always comes down to strategy in game, week to week. That's the part of it that he's really failed. London, there is no chance in hell a head coach in today's NFL can get the potential game-winning field goal distance wrong in the post-game presser. He said like 66 or 68, just threw it out there. It's 62. You can't, you have to have that in mind. It's impossible to be wrong. That's fair criticism. But what I heard covering the game Sunday, this quote, it really perked me up, because when fans or even naysayers of Glenn think about him this year, people would say maybe he puffs his chest out. I've heard Alan Hahn on the radio. He's acting. He's not being authentic. He combative with the media, all that stuff. If he truly was, a blowhard and stubborn and completely inflexible and just, for lack of a better word, a curmudgeon, he wouldn't say this. And that is, I think it was Costello said, how important is it to win a game in a close situation late? And he said, very important. We're going over it. It's critical in this league. And after talking about his players, he brought it on himself, and he put the emphasis on himself. And he said, even for me, it takes time to learn. So he didn't provide an answer in which he showcased that he has all the answers. He provided an answer with humility. And I don't think a guy who he's coachable. That's what it tells me. He's coachable. He looks in the mirror and he's okay with that. And as puffed out as he is sometimes with the pressers, he's also inward, and he looks at himself and he tries to get better. And that is a really important thing. To have a chance to be a great head coach, you have to be coachable yourself. And that's an important quote.
I just hope that one of the things he clearly improves on is just a feel for the quarterback position, Robbie. And I'm not even talking about like the X's and O's of it, because he's a defensive coach. That's his background. But like, once again, this game on Sunday, if the Jets didn't get those special teams touchdowns, the conversation is allowed for, you got to bench Justin Fields. But because the game was tied at 17 going into the half, he's stuck with Fields, and they never really trailed. They ended up winning the game, so it's fine. But I really think this game Thursday is going to test that feel for the quarterback situation again, because if Fields starts, and I expect him to probably start because it's a short week, the leash needs to be really, really short for a guy who, let's be real, in 8 starts this year, in half of them, he's basically been unplayable. He's had less than 60 passing yards in 4 of his 8 starts. It's just unacceptable quarterback play for a guy who's in his 5th year. He's not a rookie going through it anymore. People understand that. So I think some improvement we could see from Glenn, we might have to see right away on Thursday if it's there. Does he have a feel for the quarterback spot? Because Tyrod needs to come into this game if Justin Fields again looks like he has no feel for it.
Agreed. And this is one of those inflexible scenarios and examples. Granted, a lot went into it with Rodgers, with Fields, with Rodgers' agency saying, not Rodgers, Fields' agency saying he wanted to be a starter, a clear starter on a team. There's a lot of noise there to make you think there's more to it than just how he plays on the field, and that is a very, very bad thing. I'm not saying it's true, but there's a lot of noise there. So is it that in which Glenn refuses to pull him when he should? Does he have the feel and it's that stuff? Or is it not having a feel? I'm going a little deep here, but hopefully it's that he does have a feel, but he's just being stubborn in that one area because he thinks it's the right thing to do. He thinks eventually it'll click for him. But if you truly analyze this guy, even before he came to the Jets, listen, we were saying it in August. Without his legs, he's historically bad in terms of a quarterback. I know people wanted to kill me when I said that in August, but it's true. And his release is so slow. His 3-step get it out and get it out humming it or get it out with touch is so off. Like there's certain spots where he doesn't need as much touch on a 3-step, design pass, but he puts too much touch on it and the defense rallies and makes the tackle, doesn't give his guy a chance to make a play. If he truly thinks this guy could be developed and it'll click, that's where it's scary because that's where he really has no feel.
It just feels like we've done all we could with the Justin Fields, give him a chance. I'm at a point now, Robbie, where I don't think he should start Thursday. I get he probably will because it's a short week. But to me, it's not even about like Tyrod being like this long-term answer because we know he's not.
Right.
It's, hey, no Garrett Wilson. You're going to see a guy like A.D. Mitchell get a lot of opportunities. You're going to see Mechie get on the field and get opportunities. You're going to see Arian Smith get opportunities. I want Mason Taylor to continue to be out there.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Get targets and development and all that. You can't run an offense with Justin Fields as your quarterback. It completely handcuffs Tanner Engstrand's ability to call plays. Like you could just see it. There's a difference when Tyrod is the quarterback versus Fields. They don't trust Fields. And why would you? In half his starts this year, he's been unplayable. So to me, it's about evaluating the guys you have on your team right now, right? At 2-7, you're not going to the playoffs. It's, can we find out, do we need a number 2 wide receiver in the offseason? Maybe it could be Mitchell. Could he be a number 3 for us? Do we have a legit starting tight end in Taylor, or do we need to still add, a tight end 1B? Like you're trying to evaluate who's going to be here for 2026 and beyond. And it's hard to do that if your quarterback is so bad, your defense is on the field the whole game, and your offense can't run a conventional offense, so you can't evaluate what you even have. So that's my thing. It's not even that Tyrod's so great. It's that at least I know I can call normal NFL offensive plays, and I could just look at my roster fairly. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. Completely agree. I think Mason Taylor is a huge one, and Mechie, the 2 new receivers, for sure. Arian Smith is a huge one. Like, how the hell do we know? I think Engstrand too. Again, I keep saying this. It's hard to evaluate him. I think it's near impossible. It's funny. Think about Fields. The narrative is that no one can use him correctly. No matter where he goes, no one can figure out how to use him correctly. These guys are idiots. They should be running with him. They should be doing this. They should be doing that. Well, he's not a pocket passer. Why is it that everywhere he goes, that's the same narrative? What he's just an unlucky bastard who runs into morons who are coaching on the offensive side of the football? No, it's very limiting. His skill set is very limited. It ends up that way and it looks that way on the broadcast. But I'm telling you, folks, they are running. They took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit after the concussion, and when Tyrod got in there in Tampa, it kind of got away. But there's by and large, they're still running the Fields offense with zone reads and read options and stuff that works for him. It's just that the defense is playing it really strictly and putting the decision on Fields to make a play. And in a lot of cases, it's just not happening. He's handing it off. I mean, most of the zone reads that we see with the Jets these days, he has no chance to hold it because he has one read. And if the edge stays out there, which the edge stays out there every freaking time when you're playing the Jets offense, that's what you do. Edge, never sniff your nose in, never get too far down the line and squeeze it. Just stay out there, take the quarterback. He has to hand it off. There's no 2 ways around it. It's benefited Brees. It's benefited Engstrand in the rushing game, which helps to inflate the yards per carry. Look at the rushing game. Without Fields' threat, that would be lower. But still, it gets to a point where the book is out. The defense will do what they have to do to stop Fields off the edge. The next step is Fields beating you with something else. And it always gets to this point, and Fields can never beat you with something else. That's the problem.
It's a huge problem because, yeah, he'll give you the moments of looking really good, like against the worst defense ever in Cincinnati or the outlier game against Pittsburgh, where, by the way, I thought Engstrand called a great game that day, utilizing Fields' legs. We haven't seen that, you're right, since the concussion. It's been totally different. Fields himself is not being as aggressive running. And you and I have been all over this. If he's not going to use his legs, he's not good enough to just win from the pocket. And, we talked about Glenn at the top of the show. What concerns me, Robbie, is that this head coach said that they're going to be the ones to let him play quarterback and they're going to be able to coach him up, and said, quote, that he's ever been coached properly. So, like, that to me is a concern because, yes, we know Fields is not the answer long-term. When they signed him, I think most of us thought he's probably not the answer long-term. But as we get to the offseason, their job is to find the answer long-term. And I don't know how we could feel confidence or have real confidence that they're going to be, the right staff to do it. It's why I think one of the things Aaron Glenn needs to do this offseason is get a better offensive staff, not even talking just Engstrand. Charles London's the quarterback coach, for example. He's a former running backs coach.
Yeah.
You need to hire a legitimate QB coach to help with the development of whoever you end up drafting. You need to hire a legit senior level consultant that could help put together game plans and work specifically with the quarterback. Like that to me is something that Aaron Glenn's going to have to do. Like, go hire Jordan Palmer, who's like the quarterback guru training all these guys. Give him a blank check and say, we want you to work hand in hand with the guy we're picking. Like, someone like that needs to be added to the staff to help with the development of the QB spot.
100%. And, I have to give Glenn some grace in this regard in terms of him saying we're going to let him play quarterback. I cannot think 100% of the way he actually thought he's going to take Fields and have him play in a similar way to a Joe Burrow or a Mahomes. I have to. If that's the case, then what are we talking about? We're doomed from the start. But it's not a great quote. It doesn't look good. And I'll give him grace because the way they came out in week one, it was the anti that. It was more Philly. It was more Hurts and Lamar. It was more Baltimore, Philly. So from that perspective, fine. The problem I run into is, like you said, with the quarterback's coach, I think Glenn went too far. There wasn't enough balance. He saw Philly. He saw Fields in the NFC North, as Chris Berman used to call it. Kill him. 3rd and 12, perfect coverage across the board. Fields has nowhere to go, but he runs and scrambles and breaks their back. I think he just saw those things and bet that the league was going in that direction fully and didn't have enough balance. And hopefully he's looking in the mirror, per that quote that I heard on Sunday, and he's looking at himself and he's adjusting. That could be the best thing for the Jets organization and the fans. But I'll also say this, here's a good thing. If, at the very least, if he brought in Fields and thought, okay, this is a wild card, a bet, a lottery ticket, and falls flat on his face, at the very least, that's okay because we're building the foundation from the ground up, inside out. We'll work on the trenches. We'll get that stuff down. We'll work on the defense. We'll work on the running game. And then quarterback will come after that. I'm not saying it's working out in a positive way, but at the very least, I could understand that thinking.
Let's hope he gets better because he's not going anywhere. The Dominican Destroyer, ladies and gentlemen, has entered the raffle. End of the show today. Giving away 3 prizes. You better enter to win. Wayne Corbett signed football, Joe Klecko signed helmet, and a Darrelle Revis signed football. We got 3 prizes up for grabs. Why don't we do this? We'll do a little 2-for-1 special. If you enter today, not only are you in raffle 48 at the end of the show, but when I announce our top prizes for raffle 49 during our second stream today, you'll be entered in that one as well. So a little 2-for-1. You can enter both weekly raffles on the same show. Kevin, our guy Kevin, he super chats in and he says, I'll worry about the draft in weeks 16 through 17, but I will worry about entering the raffle now. Hey, shout out to Kevin. He's in. Kevin in our raffle for 5 comments, questions, super chats. They will cut the line. JD says these points Jake is making are most important. What players do we have? Well, we know they're not going to have Garrett Wilson in this game on Thursday. Your thoughts on what the offense has to do to overcome not having Garrett, no matter who the quarterback is, because let's be real, they're going to need to score some points, some touchdowns if they're going to win Thursday night in Foxborough.
It's going to be rough. I mean, New England, they're a very good rush defense, if memory serves, right? They might be one. They're up there. They're really good. So Engstrand, Hayden, Glenn, they're going to have to go to work on what they can do in terms of the rushing game. Not necessarily working off the passing game, but working the rushing game that works off of Fields' east-west threat. Can that work? Who can you take advantage of? Or either of the edges a little too happy to bump down and sniff their nose in, or any of the linebackers a little too giddy on play action. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, and I don't know what they're going to do against this Pats D. You want a quarterback who could thrive in the short passing game. You really do. Who could diagnose it and get rid of it quickly. And if I'm the Jets, maybe this is the RPO game. Maybe they really, and I understand why they haven't gone with many RPOs this year. It's just that the quarterback hasn't been able to, I don't want to say handle it, but that's probably the best word. They don't trust, I'll say this, they don't trust the entire offense to execute it on a consistent basis. But maybe this is the game where they shock the defense and go heavy RPO.
I mean, you got to try something, right? You got to throw everything out there and just see if something could give you some sort of opportunity to stay in this game. I don't even need them to win, Robbie. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. The line keeps moving up. I bet you this gets closer to 12 and a half.
What is it right now?
Kickoff on Thursday. It's 11 and a half right now. If you look at your screen, you'll see the FanDuel graphic. I mean, I just have a bad feeling about this, right? Like, it's a short week. No Garrett Wilson. New England's coming in. They've won, 7 or 8 games in a row. I mean, Drake May right now is in the conversation for the MVP award. I mean, it's tough to sit here and feel great about the Jets' chances. That said, it's a weird league. Things always happen. If the Jets show some fight, compete, look well prepared, that will show me something about this coaching staff for sure.
It's funny. It flies under the radar, but like, we watched Fields against the Cincy and he tore it up, and you had a great analogy about whether he has it or not. I forgot which show that was, like a starting pitcher in baseball. Great analogy. You could see right away. And I agree with it, but more for me, it's since the pass pro was great against Cincy, it was really great again against Cleveland. As great as they were, one is so far beyond in terms of performance and time that it's not even funny. Like, Cleveland was great in terms of regular standards in the NFL. Cincy was great in terms of historic, like, should never ever happen standards. And it's such a wild difference, which is why I think Fields was so good in that game. There was no worries. There was no looking at the rush, worrying about a Myles Garrett. It was just sit back there and play backyard football. And any quarterback could succeed in that regard. It's not going to happen against New England, obviously. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting. But what I do know is I think Mason Taylor, the tight end, has to be featured in a big way. Maybe it can go hand in hand with RPOs, maybe not. I don't know, but we'll see.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. A big shout out to Jenner G, who's watching the show. Says, Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all who have served. Special shout out to the brave women, including my mother, sister, and our own Cynthia W. Well said. Again, thank you to all the veterans out there for all you do for our great country. Stone Cold with a super chat in the raffle for 2. We're doing a little 2-for-1 special today. We got the weekly raffle at the end of the stream for the Revis football, Klecko helmet, and Wayne Corbett football, and we will enter you in next week's As Maniac raffle 49 as well. So a little 2-for-1, a little audience appreciation for everyone who's tuned in to hear about a football team that is 2-7, but its fan base is as passionate as ever. Is the way AG handling the quarterback situation with the media to protect his players from the media? What do we need to see from Fields or Tyrod on Thursday? Excellent 2-part question here, Sabo. You go ahead. You take the first part here. Your thoughts on AG's handling of the QB situation with the media.
I don't. It's an interesting thought. I don't know if it's about protecting his players more so than it is different angles. Number one, Glenn welcomes. Yeah, in a way, I think it's true. His first part, protecting the players, that helps because Glenn is welcoming the pressure onto him. It's so obvious. He's saying just direct the anger and the animosity towards me. That's fine. There are situations where, holding that info back, Fields versus Taylor, is actually strategic. I mean,
Well, this could be the week where you actually want a competitive advantage. You shock everyone and go to Tyrod on Thursday.
sure, absolutely. I mean, you go Tyrod and you could actually, have a 5 to 7 step game in terms of passing concepts.
Would you start Tyrod, by the way? I don't think you
Yes.
said directly you would.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I would start Tyrod. It's one of those quick week. So strategy, getting the defense ready is a big deal. And right now, there's no question in my mind. The Pats are prepping for Fields and prepping for a, hold on to your ass, play it tight, stay home at the edge, fill the gaps, be on your toes type game. And if it's a surprise and Tyrod's in there, you gotta adjust on the fly immediately. Now, it's not like it's going to be foreign in terms of the adjusting. It's more regular in terms of the opponents, the quarterbacks they face on a weekly basis. So I don't think it's going to be that crazy, but still, there's an advantage there for sure.
I agree. I would have 100% start Tyrod, and I do think that gives you some sort of surprise element to the game, no doubt. Barney writes in with a super chat. He goes, okay, you got me with the twofer. This gets me in, right? It does, Barney. You're in this raffle at the end of the show and next week's weekly raffle as well. He says, question for Robbie. Assuming Field starts, is it a good thing that Garrett Wilson is out? That interception was him forcing it to his Ohio buddy. No?
I would never say it's a good thing Garrett's out. Listen, I love Garrett, but I'm one of the few who, has a tendency to challenge Garrett as well. I didn't like a lot of the stuff I saw from him last year. But no, it's never a good thing that Garrett's out. However, your point about Fields forcing it is 100% true. It fouls up the offense in a lot of ways because number one, the personnel. Jake's, you've been screaming about it all summer. You got to have more help. They don't. So if that's the case, then you're going to design some stuff. Fields is also personnel. You're going to have a lot of 3-step design stuff that tries to get the ball to Garrett and get it in his hands. And, when you have a quarterback who has a tendency to overthink things, he'll force it. I don't know what the hell he was doing on that play because if my memory serves right, it was a single high. To quarterbacks, that means middle closed. You don't look for the dig or whatever inbreaker Garrett was running there. You just don't do it. So I don't know how he throws that ball. But, it was definitely a force. But no, it's never a good thing that Garrett's out.
Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. Robby Sabo is our guest as we talk all things New York Jets. Let's talk right now about our sponsor for today's show. That is Chubbies. Ladies and gentlemen, Chubbies is going to help you look good or help make someone in your life look good.
We're all having so much fun. Look at that.
Look at this. Look at this. Chubbies, baby. Your holiday wardrobe. You got to get it all set. And right now you can get 20% off all Chubbies clothing with the code ASMANNY at chubbyshorts.com. Again, Chubbies has been with us for a while. With the holiday season right around the corner, you're going to be in photos. You're going to be around family. You're going to meet the in-laws. You don't want to run into that ex who still checks your stories. Trust me, I know. They're flannels, pullovers, quarter zips, next level comfort. So when the weather gets grim, when it's freezing at MetLife, and you need to have the appropriate attire, Chubbies has you covered for everything. If you're going on vacation in the wintertime here, they got all the bathing suits. They got the shorts. Chubbies is a great brand. I've been rocking their clothing, their Jets clothing too, by the way, for a while now. Again, shout out to Chubbies. They'll get you set for the holiday seasons. Chubbyshorts.com. ASMANNY is the code, and you will benefit greatly. You'll get 20% off. That's Chubbies and code ASMANNY. Let's go. Chubbyshorts.com/AsmanNY. Check out the pinned comment down below or the link in the description, and it will take you right there. All right. Thank you to Chubbies. Let's get to some more comments. We will mix in some calls as well. We got this one from Jets Worldwide. Why? 2 for 1. I'm in. Klecko helmet, please. Hi, Robbie. Salute to all the veterans. Amen. Mr. Snowball Black Gypsy in the house. He is gifted a channel membership to the community, so he's in for 1. Cashmere Black with a free agent question already. What big free agents should the Jets try to sign in 2020? 26. I haven't even gotten that far, to be honest with you.
I haven't either. You know, I'll bring up the free agents. Maybe we'll kick it around. But I
Leo
haven't thought
Chanel,
about it.
I know, is a free agent.
Is he?
He's on the Chiefs. I don't think they would let him go, but he's a linebacker. He's only 25, turns 26 in October next year. I think he's a guy with all the cap space you could pay. You could see him being a guy that Aaron Glenn likes, 6'3", 250 pounds. I like him. Also, I believe Alex Anzalone on the Lions is a free agent as well. That's a Glenn guy if Glenn wants his, quote, guy. So I'm looking at two guys at the linebacker spot on defense. Now, Anzalone, he's been in the league a lot longer, 6'3", 234. He's 31. He'll turn 32 in September next year, so he's a little older, but he's still, to me, a guy that the Jets might consider because he would bring that leadership element that Glenn's defense, I think, desperately needs, and a guy who knows Aaron Glenn. So maybe that's a name to watch too.
It's flown under the radar, but a little bit. But how about, remember Tittman and Myers, the whole battle in the summer? And
I do.
I kept speculating. I just think it's Glenn playing games with Tittman. I think he's trying to nudge him a little bit. And, part of the Parcells type psychological stuff, Dr. Phil, Quincy had a great game. He got he didn't start. He got that news. Sherwood the week or 2 weeks before that, I forget when it was. He
Bengals
got
game bench for the first quarter.
It was the Bengals game. Okay, so why the why hasn't escaped. We don't know the why pretty much, do we? On either of those. So it might be a positive that he's trying to push buttons that a lot of coaches don't push these days, and it's working to some degree. I thought of that when you brought up Chanel. But yeah, Chanel and Anzalone are two solid names.
I think when you look at like what happened with Quincy, it's interesting. He's quote unquote bench, but he ended up playing more total snaps than the guy that replaced him in the lineup anyway, because he had a good game.
Yeah, he did. He did, and he was flying around. It's humans are crazy people. I'll tell you, it's we react, we get comfortable, we fall into routines. I don't care, how self-responsible you think you are. There's always more there. And if you're going to look for another positive in terms of Glenn as a future head coach, that's another one. He pushes those buttons.
Let's hope he pushes the right ones Thursday with the quarterback situation, because that's a real thing we're all watching, of course. Yeah. Taylor in the raffle for 5. Do you guys think it's a win-win for Glenn to start Tyrod? If it works, people will say he pulled the right string. If it doesn't, nobody could blame him without Fields plays. Yeah, I mean, if he starts Tyrod and Tyrod doesn't look good and they lose, you're not going to hear me criticize Aaron Glenn for making that decision. If he stays with Fields and Fields is horrific and he's too slow to bench him or doesn't at all, like what happened in London, then he's setting himself up for fair criticism, because I'm sorry, Justin Fields can't play. He can't play. He cannot run an NFL offense. In half his starts, he's had under 60 yards passing. If you take out the Breece Hall screen, he had 12 yards passing on Sunday. It's not that Tyrod Taylor is the long-term answer, but at least Engstrand could call plays he wants to call for the rest of the offense, and we could evaluate, what this team has at the receiver spot, how the O-line continues to play, what we're going to see from the tight end room, Mason Taylor, Ruckert, the other guys that maybe could be out there. Like, I don't need to see Fields. I'm sorry. Like, maybe he has another great game against the Bengals, but guess what? He's not playing the Bengals defense. And New England's not even like the best defense in the league by any stretch, but they're not awful. Mike Vrabel's not going to allow Justin Fields to torch him. There's no way.
And here's another thing. Vrabel is excellent against the QB running game. Vrabel, I remember this. Vrabel was one of the first to really come up with a defensive game plan that shut down Lamar. And it was either Lamar's first playoff or I think maybe second playoff. When did Tennessee play Baltimore and beat Baltimore? Whatever game that was, his game plan was masterful. He flooded the middle. He forced Lamar to try to throw to the sideline in timing. I'm not saying he can't do it. He can, but he just doesn't like to. The reason why Andrews and Isaiah Likely and tight ends tear it up on Baltimore is because he loves the middle of the field. RPOs have a tendency to go to the middle of the field. You have less time. Responsible rush lanes. That's another thing. See, it's a double-edged sword. If you go with Fields, there's going to be more responsible rush lanes. O-line can do a better job pass protecting. If you go with Tyrod, they can go a little willy-nilly. Vrabel's great at that, long story short. I've been with Fields. I've tried to be as kind as possible when they signed him. I understood the vision. I recognized the vision in terms of what Glenn wanted to do, but we knew who he was.
They also haven't done that vision because he doesn't run anymore.
No, yes, it always gets to that, and it's not. Here's the thing: it's not for a lack of trying. It's just that Fields could never beat a defense with anything else. That forces the defense's hand. That's the problem everyone always runs into. And I'll say this: speaking of being kind, yeah, it was terrible on Sunday, but on that Breece Hall screen, he did take a hit. He stood in there, delivered the ball, and took a hit from the blind side. I don't think he saw the guy coming, so I think it was just coincidence, but he did take a hit when delivering that ball on the screen.
Breece Hall had a great game, man. He better be re-signed, Robbie. He better.
Yeah, you're not going to get an argument from me. They have cap. Our running backs aren't expensive. I love Isaiah Davis. Braylon's hurt. You can't trust him. I'm not going to trust injured guys. I just can't do it. So I'm cool with Breece coming back. No question about it.
Like, don't create another hole that you don't need to create. You have enough holes you're going to be looking to try and fill in the offseason as is. Like Breece Hall, we know is a really good player. Keep him.
So if someone goes crazy and offers him the farm, I'm not going to lose my mind.
I get that, but I don't think that's going to happen, right? I mean, because he's more valuable to the Jets than he would be other teams.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd bring Breece back, and unless there's a crazy offer. That's the only scenario.
Speaking of Breece, I pulled this from Brian Baldinger. Look at this breakdown of one of the runs Breece had in the fourth quarter.
Jets have a 24-17 lead. They want to try to run the ball in the fourth quarter. Like, here comes Carson Schwessinger and Shelby Harris right there. There's no way Breece is getting away from that, is he? Oh, yeah. Wow. And he digs one out for 20. That's after he went 42 yards for a screen for a touchdown to take the lead, untouched. But that run might be his best run of the year.
Like, come on, man. Breece Hall is a damn good player. The Jets need to keep him. That
was Barry-esque. It really was. Familiar concept with the H or receive. Sometimes they put Tyler Johnson in that tight end wing spot. But you saw Beck there leading the way. And he knew, like, he had to rely on instincts to do that Barry move and get away from the two defenders. But he knew Beck was there leading the way in the C, or D. I don't know. Was it two tight ends? I know it was 6 linemen, but you get the point. His instincts are there, and he's also smart. So yeah, I'm with you. I would keep him.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line, ladies and gentlemen. A super chat from O'Shea who says, "What QB hasn't thrown that pick this year?" Well, the problem with Fields is he hasn't thrown any picks, but because he's not really taking chances to throw downfield. And the one time he did, Glenn is lauding him as an excuse yesterday, for his performance. Oh, at least he took a chance. But it's like, come on, man, that was a bad interception. There's different types of picks. There's the picks where you're just trying to make a play and you're just giving your guy a chance. And then there's the, oh, I didn't process what I'm seeing here, and I just threw it up for grabs.
Yeah, it's about situation. Like if it's 3rd and 18 and you need a first down, you're gonna throw it up to 1-on-1 and the defender makes a play. Kudos. What was that interception for the Jets? First down, second down? It was the situation, and he forced it. So no, it was a terrible interception. But having just one pick, I view it more as a negative based on what he's done this year. You have to take chances. What did Wayne Gretzky say? You miss every goal, you don't shoot. I always get the quote wrong. You know the quote. You have to shoot to score, or whatever the hell.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I knew it. I was just toying with you.
Michael Scott said that famously.
Michael Scott. Listen, dude, you got to take chances, and he hasn't done it, and it's very disappointing. That's why he has one interception, not from stellar quarterback play.
You're not wrong.
Remember when Fitzpatrick threw, was it 5 interceptions against KC?
Oh, do I remember? I broke something in my college apartment when that happened.
Okay.
Broke a window.
Listen,
I threw our coffee table against the glass of our window in our backyard.
Oh, that's not nice.
I was so disgusted that day. That was the worst.
It was a terrible game. Fitzpatrick had an awful game, but the theme I kept hearing from Jets fans is, 5 interceptions, 5 interceptions, 5 interceptions. I don't look at it that way. At some point, Fitz was just throwing the ball up because he knew it was the only possible slim chance they had of coming back. In other words, he was taking the bullet for his team. He was taking the statistical bullet for any slim chance, and he was just throwing the ball up carelessly, basically. The only way for them to come back was to do that, to take those out, low percentage chances. So I don't get wrapped up in 5 interceptions, 1 interception. It was a bad game from the quarterback. That's kind of how I view it.
It's
I just, oh man, acid flashback for Jack.
yeah, that was a rough one. Hey,
Yeah,
let me give people some positive news here. And shout out to your co-founder Michael Nania for posting this. The Jets, if they win Thursday, Robbie, and I understand it's a tall task, but they are only 1 game back of lurking
in the picture.
That's right. Forget in the hunt. We now want to be lurking. The Jets, with a win, will be in the lurking category.
Is this new? I didn't see lurking in these graphics last year.
Lurking might be new. It's replaced in the hunt.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. In the hunt's gone. Lurking instead of in the hunt. That's I don't know if I like that better. In the hunt, yeah, it's a character game. When you're thinking Gator knows, it's about characters. In the hunt is a little longer than lurking, so I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see if it catches on.
Lurking, folks. That's where the Jets could be with a win on Thursday. How about that? I remember it was such a big deal in 2022, the first time we saw the Jets like in the hunt, and then they were like in a playoff spot for a while because they got off to the 6-3 start.
Yep.
Oh man, now we're just trying to be lurking.
And then Elijah Moore said, "Throw me the damn ball," and things kind of went sideways.
Let's lurk, baby. I'm seeing the comments. Very funny.
Let's lurk.
Let's lurk. A win and we lurk, Jet fans. A win and we lurk. All right, this one is from Daz, who's watching us from the UK. I think we just pull the trigger. Bring in Beast Breaker at wide receiver. He would be the wildest receiver out there. Any thoughts on Beast Breaker lining up Thursday night? Maybe we do a heavy set, 13 personnel type of package.
Did you just say heavy set?
Yeah, heavy set, 13 personnel tight end package.
Here's the question. Would Beast line up 2-point stance out wide as a Z, or would he be in the old school 3-point stance like we saw in the early 80s at times with San Francisco? That's what I want to know.
I'm going to defer to you on that because you're the coach.
I'd go old school. I'd go 3-point stance, even if he's out wide at receiver, so he could get that momentum chugging early in the post snap.
I saw something on the Addy show last night, Robbie, that has come to my attention. I want your review on this. Give us your breakdown on what you see here.
What the offense is giving them.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
Oh!
No shot. No shots. No shot. That's what I am. That's what I am.
Did it with his pinky too. So that's interesting. A lot of booger eaters use the index finger, but he went pinky. Kind of like a Tony Soprano sipping wine type. I got to digest this, my friend.
That's what a man's man does, Robbie. That's what a man's man does. Anyway, more super chats here. C says, I think the notion that the offense is in better shape without Garrett Wilson is crazy. The passing game floodgates did not suddenly open when GW left the game. Yeah, the Jets are not a better team without Garrett Wilson. Can we stop?
No,
they need him. They look. What I hope happens now is that AD Mitchell's ready to play Thursday, and he can give him something. Mechie gets a real shot. Arian Smith, he was open on one long play, and Fields didn't throw it. Like I want to see someone maybe emerge over these final 8 games because you know what Garrett is. He's here. He's your guy. He's untouchable. Number 1 receiver. Do we need a number 2 and 3 this offseason? Do we maybe just need a number 2 and we have a 3 and 4 already in house? Like, I'd like to get a better idea for what we have. I don't think we could do that with Fields. I think Tyrod gives us a better chance to evaluate what we have.
1000%. It's very, very difficult. And I listen, unless Fields, takes magic pills and goes on a torrid run, leading to a gold jacket, I would expect Tyrod and or maybe Brady Cook getting in the rest of the season because you have to be able to evaluate Engstrand, the receivers, Mason Taylor, in more of a contemporary offense. You have to. So I wouldn't think this is going to last all season. No way.
Super chat here from Kashmir. Alec Pierce, wide out from the Colts. We should sign. Hey, I like
Alec Pierce. Yeah.
Kevin checks in. One more entry. You got 2 more entries. $10 super chats or 2 raffle tickets. He wants in for the Revis Bowl. Do you think eventually we see Brady Cook get a start? I'm at a point where, to me, I'm playing Tyrod till he gets hurt, and then I'm not going back to Fields. I would get Brady Cook ready to start playing. I have nothing to lose. And I know you like Brady Cook, so I feel like you might agree with me here.
Yeah, I like him. I thought his improvement was mind-boggling in terms of what I saw at OTAs, where he didn't belong on the field in OTAs. I saw a guy who he couldn't make a seam pass. It was insane. He was overthrowing everything, sailing it high. And when you come back for training camp, he's worked on some things that he looks better. And then by the time we hit like second week of August, I couldn't believe it. He was doing so many good things. He was doing exactly what they wanted him to do. And we saw it in the preseason. I know it wasn't against starters, but he delivered the ball with anticipation. He delivered it with great placement as well. And he wasn't shy in terms of throwing into tight windows. Think about the issue. The Jet, rarely do we ever see a pass attempt into a tight window. Rarely, if ever, this season, in the regular season. It just hardly happens. Tyrod does it, but other than Tyrod. So, yeah, I'd absolutely give Brady Cook a shot later in the season. Not now. Should be Tyrod, but definitely later.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. This one is from the great Peter Castro. Fields stinks. Anybody else? Please raffle. Peter Castro in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. 2-for-1 special today. We're going to do the weekly raffle, which is our 48th raffle we've done since we started the series in December last year. At the end of the show, you can enter for that. And you can enter for next week's raffle. This afternoon, I will reveal the prizes. And I can tell you, one of the prizes will be a signed Darrelle Revis helmet. So that's already one of the prizes for next week. But I will tell you the other prizes later today. So keep that in mind for those of you who want to enter and get a little 2-for-1 special here on Veterans Day. Speaking of Veterans Day, Rat D says happy Veterans to all my fellow vets. Hey, Rat, thank you for your service. And again, happy Veterans Day to everyone out there who served. Brees needs 30 touches Thursday night. Don't get cute. And the 30 touches can be in the passing game too. Like, time Tanner Engstrand called a screen. That was the perfect play call. Schwartz sending the all-out blitz. Perfect play call to counter that. I feel like have not done that enough when teams are stacking the box and showing obvious blitzing that's coming.
Part of the problem, I agree with you, but I think part of the problem is Fields is just not good at it. He's not efficient at it. He can't.
Why is he playing, man?
His release is just not great, and he doesn't sell it. When you're running play action screens and you're a quarterback, it goes for the whole offense. But when you're the quarterback, you have to sell things. You have to sell it. You have to be an actor. You have to command the game in a way that fools the opposition. And, 3-step stuff and screens, that's just not. If he was really efficient in that area, you could have something with him, but he's just not efficient. It's a major problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, more of your super chats here. This one is from Barney, who says Brees is great. He's a superstar. No Brees, 0-9. You could make a case that they wouldn't have either win without Brees Hall. That's how good he was in the 2 wins.
Who's the Jets MVP this season as it stands right now?
I think it's Brees, is it not? I mean, you could argue Austin McNamara. He's been great.
You could, man. Is he going to be the all-pro punter, by the way?
He's great, dude, honestly. Like, seriously. Like, the one thing I'll give Glenn and Muji all the credit for, because I didn't like getting rid of Morstead. I'm like, why mess with a good thing? He's a good vet. Still, like, he's not making a lot of money. Like, come on. But give him all the credit. McNamara's been better than Morstead. He's been arguably the best punter in the league this year. So he might be an all-pro punter. You're not wrong.
Yeah, he might. There was one point in early August. I tweeted it a couple times. I couldn't believe the consistency he was coughing, cornering it inside the 5. I'm like, what am I watching here? Is that a robot on the field? And I didn't think he'd play this well this season, but the signs were there early. Will he be the all-pro guy? I don't know. I just know he's been tremendous.
He's been great.
Was that Beast I heard? What? I turned off the screen.
You just heard Beast? You weren't supposed to hear that. Gator sent me something that I was prepping to play. You're not supposed to hear that. So I don't know why you did. Is there something wrong with my... I know why you did. Something wrong with my settings.
I just blew up the whole spot.
All good. Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat from DKU says, chances of Tyrod starting Thursday. What about using 2 QB sets? What's the old saying? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. Either start Fields and bench them, when he inevitably looks terrible, or play Tyrod Taylor from the go and catch the Patriots maybe off guard and at least be able to call a conventional offense.
Yes, and or don't be afraid to pull him. Like, let Fields be David Cohn, and understand you might go to Mariano at some point in the game. That's all. 2 QB sets. Was he talking about 2 QBs at the same time? It's a gimmick. It's only for a package, maybe once or twice a game. If you have something, I wouldn't be dead set against it, but it wouldn't be my number one go-to. That's for sure.
I agree with you. I would just start Tyrod. I really would.
Yeah.
Jesus Jerry says Beast taking gangrene to a new level. Damn. Boogie Nights starring Beastbreaker. Some are saying in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Kent is in the house. He has gifted 5 channel memberships.
You tell me how crazy I am. I just took 4 chair headshots.
That's what you heard there, Mr. Sabo.
Okay. Yeah, that's par for the course.
Papa Jet enters the raffle. He heard Joe Klecko. Was like, wait a second. I want in. I love Joe Klecko.
Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets.
Papa, hope you're doing well. 5 tickets for you in next week's raffle and the raffle at the end of the show. This one is from Viante. 5 raffle tickets for him. Get a veteran QB in free agency and continue to build the team in the draft. Go Jets. I don't like the idea of waiting till 2027. I get it. You don't just take a quarterback and force it if you don't like the guy, but I just find it hard to believe the Jets, armed with the draft capital they have, Robbie, are not going to end up taking someone in the first round this year because they're not guaranteed 2027, even with the 3 first-round picks. If Glenn wins 3 games in 2026, are we sure that Woody's going to be patient to let him have a year 3, right? Like, how do we know that the Jets aren't bad next year? And Woody's like, I can't move forward with him. Let me bring in a real coach. My job's attractive with 3 ones who could pick their quarterback of the future. Like, and also we'll wait till 27 because next year's class is going to be better.
That's
we say this every single year. I will continue to show tweets like the one from Dan Orlovsky at the end of the draft last year over and over again. Because look at the tweet here, Sabo. He lists all these quarterbacks and says 2026 could be a loaded class. And of all the names here, there's only one who is still projected to be a top 10 pick. That is Dante Moore of Oregon. I don't see Fernando Mendoza's name on here. I don't see Ty Simpson's name on here. And those are the other 2 guys that in every mock are now going in the top 10, assuming Simpson and Mendoza and Dante Moore are the 3 options that are all coming out and they're there. Like, to me, it's so risky to wait till 2027. You don't force the quarterback, but I find it hard to believe they're not going to end up drafting someone when it's all said and done.
Yeah, 2 things. I'm with you. I don't like the idea of waiting till 2027 either. But my thing more is I don't like the idea of thinking 2026 or 2020. I don't like the idea of forcing it either way. Let it come to you. That's one. Number 2, the Jets, and fans are going to lose their minds on me, but the Jets did not make a mistake per se by getting rid of Sam Darnold. Their major mistake was not.
What's that? They picked the right quarterback, and still that's my fear with this regime.
Their major mistake was not understanding the importance of a Shanahan or O'Connell type first and foremost.
Whoa. According to Colin Cowherd, we actually hired Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan.
And Jet fans are clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach.
I think he's saying Gase is a great coach.
I mean, they hired Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan, so point proven wrong by you, Sabo.
I eat crow, but listen, I'm not saying they had a chance to get O'Connell or Shanahan. I'm saying their major mistake, it's not getting rid of Darnold. It's not trying to find one of those guys.
Right.
That's Mac Jones. Shanahan has Mac Jones, humming as a backup quarterback. Brock Purdy. Is Brock Purdy a starter on a second contract if he lands in a different situation? Doubtful. So you got to listen. Quarterback is very, very important, but I will say this, and I have no problem saying it. Head coach is even more important.
Agreed. I think it all matters, but I think
for sure it all matters. For sure.
That to me is the big thing, right? Like, there's going to be quarterbacks that emerge do you have the right infrastructure to even know if you picked the right one? Took
Yeah.
years to learn Sam Darnold was definitely the right choice. Just didn't work because they failed him with the coach, and the roster was just trash. It was horrible.
Yeah, he ran into a guy named Shanahan and then O'Connell. He didn't exactly, blaze it up in Carolina either. So maybe Minnesota is pushing it a bit too far. O'Connell trusting himself a little bit too much, making that move, dumping Darnold for the Michigan kid. But we'll see.
Cash Money Mike in the house. He was down in Tampa with us. You probably met him, Mr. Sabo.
Probably.
He writes in, there's no way Glenn can start Fields over Taylor this week. Fields has given us total trash QB play except for 2 games. Fields should no longer be a QB and should be DFA'd. Can you DFA? It's not really called that in football,
Yeah.
but I see the point. Fields is that
It
bad.
sounds vicious. It sounds vicious, though. DFA. I'll let it slide.
Designated for assignment for non-baseball
Yes.
fans. Fields is that bad, worse than Zach Wilson. I actually think he's better than Zach, but this year it's been Zach Wilson level of bad, and that's what concerns me about Glenn and Engstrand and the coaching. Like, you could say whatever you want about Justin Fields, and I was never a believer that he was the long-term answer. But if you look at how he played in Pittsburgh and in Chicago, it was never this bad. And he's had 4 games where he's had under 60 passing yards. Like, that's unheard of.
Yes, it's and what's the root cause? Like, is it an issue of him taking the head coach's message too much to heart? Is it him worrying about turnover? I'm not sure it's a combination of everything, but what is the major root cause? So much as that play, is it just his limitations? I would start Tyrod too, but I think it would be a fine way to go if you start Fields, knowing there's a quick hook. Because that could be a nightmare for a defense. It really can be. It's not easy for the offense to adapt in game either. But if you get their mind understanding that could be an inevitability in the game, it helps. And the defense won't be, matching it right away. It'll take some time. It'll take a couple drives to adjust. So I would go Tyrod too. But if you go Fields, got to have that quick hook, and the team has to be aware it's a possibility.
I would love to see the Jets be so aggressive in this game. Go for it on 4th down, run a fake punt. You're going to have to find ways to gain an edge. And those are the type of things that maybe could give you a chance to hang with the Pats. And, the longer you stick around with them, the more pressure is on them, right? So, like, the Jets, they could hopefully go in house money, feeling free. You stick around and hang around the game, you give yourself a chance for you to steal it the longer you're in it.
Or how about this? First drive of the game, you pick up 7 on the ground. It's 2nd and 3. You know what the Pats are going to be in. It's going to be aggressive outside man coverage, 1 safety in the middle closed. Dial something up for A.D. Mitchell, 1-on-1 down the sideline, and chuck it up and see what happens. See if you get a DPI. See if you let him make a play. As the fans say, throw the bomb. It's got to be in the right situation. You can't just do it willy-nilly. It has to be the right situation. But how many times have we seen a pass down the sideline in a 1-on-1 situation where it's just 1-on-1 and you want to let the receiver make the play? That's not Garrett's game per se, so I understand that, but I think A.D. Mitchell is more prone to making a play like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Robby Sabo is with us here, jetsxfactor.com. Reminder, folks, the show's available as a podcast every day. Just search Jake Asman Show on Apple or Spotify, and you can listen back to anything you might have missed. The audio version of the show is available each and every day. Joe M says, thoughts on taking 2 QBs in the draft, maybe a 1st and 4th. I'm all about it, man. You want to do the Brock Purdy, Trey Lance thing, the Kirk Cousins, RG3 thing. If you like 2 guys, 1 in the 1st, 1 later on, fine. I'm good with it. And I'm also not against you draft someone in the 1st round this year and you have a terrible year, you lose confidence in him, you're blowing it up, new coach coming in, you want to use 27 to take someone else, then none of this matters till they get the quarterback figured out. We've seen the Jets have good teams, good rosters that don't win anything because they don't have the QB. So, yeah, I mean, if they like more than one guy this year, Joe, to answer your question about 2026, absolutely, I'm not against that.
Yeah, and why has that been a possibility? The Washington and San Francisco thing. It's because the draft slot salaries have changed. Implementing that post Sam Bradford, it doesn't kill you if you get the QB wrong. In the past, taking more than 1 QB in a draft was very difficult. Well, you could take 1 in the 7th round, but you get the point. Taking two guys in, mid to upper tier would be unthinkable. The financials are just brutal, but you could do it now and you can get away with it. So I'm not against it, not by a long shot.
Just keep adding quarterbacks till you get one. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. Craze with a super chat. I'll send a super chat every day hollering that Fields cannot be the bridge under any circumstance. See, I agree with this too. If you want to keep him on the team next year and still sign another veteran, that to me is the move because you're going to draft someone anyway, I still believe. I do not want the scenario where it's, well, here's Justin Fields for another year, or he's the bridge till the rookie is ready behind him. I know he's under contract. No, I can't run an NFL offense this way. Like, I don't want to go through the Justin Fields thing again next year.
It's interesting. You brought up RG3. Jaden Daniels is hurt this year, right? He got hurt running wild. I feel for Washington fans because it's almost like a repeat at this point. Dart got hurt running the ball. Josh Allen's not himself. Lamar was hurt. That going all in on the rushing quarterback evolution was kind of done a 180 this year.
Well, anyone can get hurt though. Joe Burrow's not a running quarterback, and he's
sure, but like it feels like every single. It feels like it's changed on a dime. In other words, the percentages aren't lining up. Like you wouldn't think every single guy is having so much adversity at one time. I'm not saying it's dead. I'm not saying the running quarterback is dead, but not by a long shot. I just think maybe the league is going to have to pull back a little bit in terms of how much they put these guys in harm's way, is my point.
This one's from Cash Money Mike. Jets should definitely take a QB in 26. If they realize he's not the guy, then they should Josh Rosen him and select another in 27. I have no issue with that. Now, the thing with Josh Rosen, though, new coaching staff. So if Glenn is horrific in 26 and they clean house, you let the new head coach, who better be an offensive guy, Robbie, pick that quarterback. God.
I mean, listen, I've been on that offensive thing, and I'm a defensive coach in real life. It pains me to say it. I die inside when I say it, but the offensive unit has to be the star of the show. Defense has to be complementary. Now, last night's game really brought a tear to my eye. I loved it. But that's just the way it is. The 3-step short passing game is dominating the NFL. Yards per completion has never been lower for the past 5 years. It's just the way it's how teams win. It's how smart teams go about their business. Now, it doesn't eliminate Glenn from having success. If Engstrand's the real deal and Glenn understands this league, he could have a lot of success. But I'm not against you. I agree with you. It has to be. If Glenn doesn't work out, we have to look towards the offense.
Jay Perez is in our raffle 2-for-1 special today, people. O'Shea says Moore and Komet had career numbers with Fields. Yeah, I mean, look, he has not been even the Chicago version of himself this year. Is that because the Jets aren't coaching him properly? Is that because he's no longer comfortable running because of that concussion? Something happened there? Is that because he just doesn't have the weapons here, like we've talked about ad nauseum since March? I don't know. But for whatever the reason, he is not playing like he did in Pittsburgh and at the end of Chicago when he was never as bad as he has been with the Jets. I mean, did you see this passing chart from the game on Sunday?
I did.
He had 2 completions in front of the line of scrimmage. Look at this. This is the most pathetic passing chart I've ever seen from a quarterback in his 5th year.
Yes, and part of this, and I'm not trying to absolve them, but part of this was game flow. When they got the 2 return touchdowns, they really reined it in even more. Which, I mean, they got the win. They got away with it, but it's part of that as well. And that's that line of thinking from a head coach in terms of game flow can only take you so far. It's when the Cincy type games happen. As long as the head coach is willing to ride that wave, and he was Glenn in Cincy, then there could be a future. But yeah, that's a terrible looking chart.
Half his starts this year, under 60 passing yards. Half. Bills, Broncos, Panthers. He only played the first half because he was so bad he was benched. And the Browns game we just watched. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and you could understand it if he's running the ball and picking up yards and is being efficient in that regard, but it's coming back a little bit the last 2 games, but by and large, it hasn't been there.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor gives them a better chance to win and a better chance to evaluate what you have on this team. I will keep saying it. Maybe they're going to play Fields Thursday, and then with 10 days to get ready, they make the change if Fields doesn't improve. Not only
is it about the receivers and Mason Taylor evaluating them, it's about the O-line too.
Correct.
Because if you go to Tyrod and take Fields out, the O-line has to play differently. It becomes harder to run the ball and maintain that yards per carry. You don't have the benefit of the edges on defense staying home. You don't have the benefit of the defense have to playing a certain way that limits itself. So from a 10-man offensive perspective, it allows evaluation a lot easier.
Mr. Sabo, we'll get you out of here with this. Score prediction for Thursday Night Football. Jets and the Pats.
Let's go 24-13. Pats.
24-13.
Mm-hmm.
Spread's 11.5. So you're right there.
Right there.
I can see that.
I'm putting the
that's
bait
like
out.
best case scenario, I feel like.
I don't disagree.
I like the optimism, though. I respect it.
I don't disagree.
All the love. JetsXFactor.com. Tell the people about it. People need to know.
Yes. If you go to type in JetsXFactor.com in your browser, you become a better person. Just I can't even explain it. You only experience it when it happens, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
I experience it every morning.
Yes, sir.
Robbie, I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
All right. Later, everybody. Bye.
Robby Sabo with us. We'll get to your calls coming up. I wanted to play some positive film here, and we're going to do a film review with Joe Blewett this afternoon and talk more about the state of the team. Don't look at the passes. Just watch Olu going up against Myles Garrett. Olu Fashanu, I thought, played an outstanding game at left tackle. Garrett was predominantly lined up against him, and he took the best pass rusher in the NFL, and he neutralized him for the vast majority of the game. I think if you want to be optimistic about the Jets, the fact that they do have these 5 first-rounders over the next 2 years, and knock on wood, Olu and Membu are going to be here for the long haul, and you don't need to use those first-rounders on offensive tackle, that's huge. When was the last time we felt good about both our tackles? Seriously. DeBrickashaw and Damian Woody? Felt good about both offensive tackles that we have on the Jets. Feel like they're long-term starters. When was the last time? So I think that's big because you're going to have a rookie starting for you next year. And you want him to be protected. And if you keep Brees, you got a legit running back. You already have a number 1 receiver in Garrett. I think Mason Taylor has been a solid rookie tight end. I think he'll improve. You're not starting from nothing with this team, which I think is encouraging because you don't want to replicate the Sam Darnold nightmare again, where you actually picked the right guy, but he was failed by the organization. We will get to your calls coming up. Reminder for those of you just tuning in, we got the weekly raffle. Revis football, Klecko signed helmet, Wayne Krebet signed football are the prizes. If you enter raffle 48, you're in for raffle 49. We will announce the top prizes on the show later, but I already spoiled one of them earlier for those just tuning in. It is a signed helmet by the great Darrelle Revis. Here's the helmet for you to actually, no, I don't have the picture ready to show. It is the logo that Revis actually wore. So it's the white helmet with the old Jet logo that was synonymous with Revis's Jet career, for those curious. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I promise we're going to get to your calls coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure that we win Thursday so the New York Jets can officially be lurking. That's right. 1 win away from being able to lurk. All right. Let's get to some calls, shall we? First up is the great Doug on his bed. Hello, Doug.
Good morning, Jake. How are you?
Good morning, Douglas.
Few points. One, you guys are briefly talking about it. If it was to me, I know Aaron Glenn won't do it. I'd start Tyrod this game and the Ravens game. And then the last 5 games, I think it's Atlanta after that, I'd start Brady Cook. Because, to throw him into this or the Ravens, that's a lot to ask of the kid. So I would prep him to start the Falcons game and then just the rest of the way. Because I think that's a little bit, it's at home. Falcons have a good defense, not a great defense. And I think that's a little bit better way of easing into it against on the road at the Ravens as your first pro start. So that's what I would do if I was Glenn. Do you kind of agree with that? Or
I would 100% start Tyrod Thursday and the Ravens game. with the idea of getting Brady Cook ready to play at some point, if he's ready. I'm out of practice. I'm not going to pretend like I know if Brady Cook could play or not. But when Tyrod inevitably gets hurt, because that's been his history, I wouldn't go back to Fields. I would go to Brady Cook if he's ready at that point.
No. Then I got into this argument with a coworker yesterday. He's a Pats fan. And he was saying, oh, I don't get how the Jets are back in this position. You go back through their drafts, most of their first-round picks outside of the quarterback, which is an important one, have been hits. And I've been like, that's crazy. Like, the hits have been on defense, sure. But you go back, he was going back to 2016 with Leonard Williams. It was like, oh, all their first-round picks have been hits. After that, you have Sam Darnold, who was a hit. We couldn't hold on to him along. You have Jamal Adams. Yeah, he was a good player, but you don't take a safety that high. The positional value is just not worth it when you could have had Mahomes, or he's a bad person, but you could have had Mahomes or Watson. Like, ignore the bad person stuff. After that, you didn't know it at the time. Then, like, he threw in all these other people. The only good offensive pick you've had in the past decade, I'd say, is Garrett Wilson and then AVT, but you have to account his injury history as, like, you can't say he's 100% a hit because he just can't stay healthy. So I would say the only offensive hit you had that's in a first-round pick has been Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, look, AVT, unfortunately, injuries. They've hit on a lot of picks. Brees wasn't a first-rounder, but they did trade up for him, right? They got quarterback wrong. That was the big thing. There were other things Douglas screwed up, not getting a backup, not last year, not getting a legit kicker when Zerline clearly was shot. Like, is Zerline even in the league, by the way, this year? Like, that kind of just tells you he was just completely done. Yeah, I mean, look, the biggest issue has been quarterback, and this is no one's fault. Rodgers getting hurt in 23 set the wheels in motion for the nightmare 2024, because you could have fired Saleh and the staff if Rodgers was there in 23 and they didn't make the playoffs, and then you would have had Mike Vrabel probably coaching you in 2024.
Yeah.
And who knows?
And then Joe Douglas trades JFM for nothing and just decimates the defense from what it was, and it just goes down here. But yeah, like, you can't just say, oh yeah, we've hit, like. And the reason why you got to have, like, somewhat faith is because I do think we're changing the approach of going offensive first. Yeah, Olu was a hit. Is Olu not a hit? Member's not a hit. That's not a debate. Yes, we've had good first linemen, those two. But okay, look at Fat Boy. What's his name?
Fat Boy. Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton. Sorry, but like, he's only had one good season, and that was on the Eagles, and otherwise he's been too fat or hurt. So, like, and you could have had Tristan Wirfs there. So,
look, Douglas made his fair share of mistakes, Doug. I mean, there's no doubt. But the biggest issue they had was the quarterback situation. The roster was good enough to go to the playoffs with better quarterback play. Unfortunately, Mike White getting hurt also really screwed them too, because if he had stayed healthy, I'm convinced they'd make it in 22.
Yeah, because if his rib zone exploded, they still probably would have lost to the Bills, but I'm pretty sure they would have beaten the Lions the next week, and then they played, like, the Jags, I think, as well after that. Those are teams they would have beat with Mike White.
They would have got there at least.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, and also just the reason why I have somewhat faith, I don't have faith in the coaching staff yet, but, like, you can see they're making the focus more offensive first this time, where all the pass regimes have been just going all into defense. And you're right. We have the two bookend tackles. And also, you could say we have 3/5 of the offensive line. Whether you have Tippmann at guard or center, you have your 3/5 of the offensive line secured for at least, you hope, the next 10 years. So it's just a matter of Tippmann's center or guard. But either way, you have three positions solidified for the next however many years you think they all should be there.
Agreed. And by the way, why not keep both Simpson and see if AVT wants to come back on a 1-year prove-it deal? You have so much cap space now. Keep the O-line together for another year. Have some continuity. I would definitely bring back one of Simpson and AVT, and seriously consider bringing back both. And I'll use one of my picks on getting my guard that could also maybe be a center to figure out what my plan is with AVT if he can't stay healthy again and I'm better prepared. You could also bring back Myers on a 1 year. Like, keep the group together. There's no reason to create more holes if you have the cap space and you have the opportunity to keep this group together for a rookie coming in.
I would like it to be AVT, like, give him a 1-year flyer. You just don't know the healthy. I think this likelier approach would be sign Myers and Simpson back and just run it back with the O-line that you've had start every game this year.
Right.
So, like, again, I would like it to be AVT because I think, you saw it last year, he was healthy, and this year he finally looked back to full form, and you thought, man, he's going to be so good. And just unfortunate that he tore a pec again. The different pec, it's just unfortunate. So you want to see him healthy. You think he's going to be good. He was voted captain. Everyone sees him as a leader. So I wouldn't, like, give him like a 1-year deal. It would be cheap, and you have a ton of cap space, but he's not going to command a lot of money because it's on a prove it deal. So see what happens. But yeah, you have a lot in place. I do like that they're going to offense structure first, because you look at the past few Super Bowl champs, you don't need the top 5 to 10 defense anymore to win the Super Bowl. It's the top 5 to 10 offenses that you need with like a league average defense to win the Super Bowl now.
You gotta score points.
Like the Eagles, yes, the defense was good, but like you look at Super Bowl champs, it's usually they have like a top 10 to 20 defense, probably in that range, middle defense, at least league average.
Or they get forced turnovers too. They might allow a lot of yards, like the Lions defenses with Glenn. They forced a lot of turnovers, so we haven't seen that at all yet.
And then they have the teams that are in the Super Bowl have top 5 offense, top 5 to 10 offenses. You need an elite offense. This like it's not defense win championships anymore. Yes, you need to come up with big plays, but you need a top 5 to 10 offense in today's NFL. So that's why it looks like they're finally going to build through the offensive side of the ball. That's why with the trades, you get an AD Mitchell. You said it. You don't think he can be your 2, but if he shows you can be a feasible 3, you get your quarterback with your first pick. Then if you want with one of your early seconds, you could take a receiver, or in the back end of the first with your other first, you can take a receiver. So I like that they're finally building it offensive first, not going through this, oh my God, we have the best defense in the league, we're going to win it through our defense. So I like how they're changing the idea of how to build the team.
You got to get a quarterback, Doug. I mean, the idea is to get a quarterback. They haven't been able to do it. So have they had good defenses? Yes, but they've also never had the quarterback to go with it. That's been the problem. It's been a huge problem. All right, more of your calls coming up. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Short break. We come back. We rapid fire through your calls. Keep it right here. Jake Asman with you. It is game day eve as the Jets play on Thursday. Back right after this.
Give us a little moonwalk.
I can't. I got the ankle. Oh, do you not know what happened?
No. Did something happen recently?
Yeah, when I was in New York, I got hit by a car.
Is there security footage of this? Can I play it on the show?
So they would probably have the footage. I mean, what am I going to do with it now?
Gator's already working on a production of this. So
yeah, I think that's why I didn't want to bring it up.
I'm going to play a drop, and then that's your cue to make a face like you got hit by a car. You ready?
All right, I'll do it.
Here we go. Ready? And Gator writes in, can he throw the headset off and vomit?
Now there's a gas station over here. I'm going to go get some pizza and see if they have any butter to put on it.
You could have died.
But I didn't.
Completely fell asleep and let himself get bitch slapped by them. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's about to tie Marvin Lewis. Most consecutive playoff losses. Let me finish, okay? Are you...
That's a bad football team. That is poorly coached.
It's a sad life being a Jets fan, man.
I'm just destroyed with this team.
I hate them. I hate them.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Death, taxes, and the Jets just stabbing a stake in our hearts.
We have all this talent and can't do anything with it.
I've got no words. It was brutal.
25.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't know how much more I could take for this.
They are doing irreparable damage to this fan base.
It's the brand new song, Power of Dog.
Yeah, I saw Bonesy last night playing basketball. He stinks. All right? Bonesy plays basketball like with a piano on his back.
I could ball, so Peter's just trying to get me egged up here.
That looks like me playing basketball.
See, I watched last night. It was really bad.
He does need a belt for his pants, I think.
What'd you watch me do, though? You watched me take 4 warm-up jumpers.
I just watched you move around. It's like you got cement shoes on.
Oh, my God.
Bonesy, I love you, but you're not a basketball player.
Peter, how does he shoot?
He had a two-handed, like, old man shot from the corner that didn't go in.
And they caught the robber of your place of work yet?
I choose not to talk about that.
Well, this is concerning, Scott. I don't know if I can make a commitment to broadcast from your place of work if there's a robber on the loose.
So you're going to be downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, whatever you want to do. At some point, I don't know, whatever.
Where are we going again, Scott?
Saratoga. You're going right at the bunker. Everyone can get down. It's cool.
And to be clear, you're not a suspect in the robberies right now.
I was on camera, and the camera was looking at the back of my head and saw my bun. He thought it was me. That's how that happened.
Okay.
I want everybody up here. English, Puerto Rican, that's why I'm here. And I know you want the mayor. I know you do. Should I say something or no?
Scott, to be honest, I really don't know what you're saying right now.
The mayor has lunch at the bunker a couple times a week. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Let's catch this robber first before I go.
All right.
Oh.
Okay. I'll. Do you want me? He was apprehended and released.
That's not good, Scott. Why was he released?
Jake, I don't know, man. Maybe a PR reason. Not have it in the papers, whatever.
A PR reason? He robbed your place of work. How was he just released?
It's not my call, dude. I have no clue.
Gunny, your thoughts on that call?
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
Only on this show, dude. Only.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.
All right, we're back. More of your calls coming up. I saw the super chat came in for the big fellow who says, I have decided I am taking the little fella to the Jets-Pats home game this year. No matter what our record is, I'll be damned they come in and take over MetLife. F Boston, F the Pats, Beantown bitches. Love it. I hope they win. Well, at that point, I don't know. We might be in tank mode. We'll see. I hope the weather is good. I hope the weather is good. All right, let's get to more of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to a man that we love. We respect. Some might even fear him. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see us maniacs complain. What they call him, one punch breaker. You need to get a job. What they call him, one punch breaker. The beast is on his ass. Call him one punch breaker. Has anyone seen Bean Mac? Call him one punch breaker. You only need one.
Jake, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Give all the respects to our men and women of this armed forces, both here and, gone. So it's a good day for them. Just let us remember them. Just like we have to remember our past, I'm not going to give too many takes on the current situation going on with our team, but let's continue winning, building up that winning attitude. Okay. All right. Here's why I'm calling in today. I was really disgusted with that hamburger take yesterday. That really got to me, Jake.
The name is curse call.
It's all well and good to kid around with a curse. I don't believe in any curses. It's just ineptitude for most of the time. But requesting for the demise of Joe Willie Namath, a man who proved himself through the years, through thick and thin, injured, man. This guy was injured. I'm a Jets fan since Joe was drafted in 1965, and I watched him play in college at Alabama. Come into a game against Texas in the Orange Bowl when they were down 14-0 with an injury to his leg that was an ACL. This man was playing through an injury since he was injured in the North Carolina State game earlier in the year, 1964. If you watch that game, watch Joe Willie play, okay? See the options that he had. See how he could run the ball. He was stopped dead at the one. He actually thought he got into the end zone to win that game versus Texas or tie it. I don't remember exactly. But to bring a take like that, to request a man's demise, to think, that guy's a fool. I mean, that's the most foolish take I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this is very disturbing to Jet fans of the past. There would be no New York Jets in the NFL if it was not for Joe Namath and Weeb Ewbank and the men that played on those teams. You guys are, they talk about instant coffee. I mean, we don't have instant coffee being a New York Jets fan, okay? But we know that we did have a foundation, and that foundation was built on solid rock, okay? Unfortunately, through the years, it became sand. All right. So it's never built up to the point we got back to the Super Bowl. But to believe in a curse is silly, in my estimation. And that take by Hamburger will not be forgotten by me. Okay? It will not be forgotten. I just tell you that. So, Jake, I'm sure you don't believe in a curse. Do you?
No, I just think the Jets have been a poorly run franchise in their history.
Right. Just total ineptitude. Since we've gotten to the playoffs, we've had good teams. But it always comes down to, we're always a little bit short in those good years. Through Rex Ryan years being the last times, unfortunately we didn't get over the top, but hey, we just have to hope for better times. But that take, guys, young men, don't ever believe that. And Joe Namath is a man among men. See how he played through injuries. He was never the same, Jake. He was never the same after those knee injuries. He was Bear Bryant classified him as the best athlete he's ever come across. And we're gonna request this man's demise. Come on, Hamburger, wake up. Oh, and also listen. So I was on the Addy show earlier last night, and I went off, and I was having trouble sleeping because I twisted my back, and I got up in the middle of the night. So guess who's on the show also requesting the demise of Joe Namath, our famous friend, the ex-boxer. So he only puts himself in more mud, that guy.
Man.
Come on, guys. Have respect for our past. That's all I'm asking. I'm not here to lecture anybody. That's not my job. But I'm going to stand up for our guys of the past. So let's just hope. Going on to our current team. Hey, let's build up that winning. Keep winning. Keep winning. Let's get that quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's got their takes. I don't want to get into it. There's too many, and I'm hoping that we could just start the winning. So Jake. Listen, just keep on trucking, my friend. God bless all out there.
Dave, God bless you. Great call. You're the man.
He thinks that Gary needs more shots upside his head. This cowboy hates when you don't believe in achievement. Well, they call him One Punch Brigger. The moon landing was free. They call him One Punch Brigger. His claim is not true. They call him One Punch Brigger. Hated jokes and swiping sides. One Punch Brigger. Don't you know they need one? Yeah.
Man, passionate call there from the Dave Briga. There's been something going on behind the scenes with the show that I want to let everyone know about. So I've been in communication with Mad Max to make sure that he gets to school, gets to class on time. I told Mad Max that if he does show up to his classes on time with picture proof that he is in his seat ready to learn, because we learned from one of Mad Max's classmates, Chase, that he's frequently at least 15 plus minutes late to class every single day, that I will get Mad Max 2 tickets to the Falcons game in premium seats. And ladies and gentlemen, I received this message over Discord this morning from Mad Max sitting in the classroom. He sent this to me at 9:27 a.m. I believe the class started at 9:30. So it looks like Mad Max was on time today, but just to make sure he's not pulling a fast one on us, we say hello to classmate Chase, who joins us now. Chase, was Mad Max on time today, Chase? Give it to us straight.
Mad Max was on time today, and he was also super involved with class today. He did a fantastic job. I'm super proud of him. Yeah, little golf clap for him.
Love it. Love it. It's a good start to Mad Max's journey here, Chase. Well done.
Yeah, it was a great class today. We talked about the Jets a little bit. And he texted me, he was like, hey, you should call into the Jake Asman show. And I was like, with pleasure, man, with pleasure.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chase, well done. I mean, we're counting on you. And I'll tell you what, if you want to join Mad Max at this Jets game, I don't know why you would. I think you said you're an Eagles fan, but I'd be happy to get you a ticket as well.
There's my Eagles flag in the background right there.
Congrats on your win last night.
Oh, it was rough, man. It was rough. Talk about an ugly game.
Hey, they all count the same. You got to win ugly sometimes.
But I do have a question for you, though.
Yes, sir.
The Jets also won on Sunday, and I did watch that game. I watched that full game because I was like, when I call into the Jake Asman show, I need to know what I'm talking about. Justin Fields, that was a terrible game. Do you want him coming back next year as your quarterback? Because no. you have him on a 2-year, $40 million deal, and he's guaranteed $30 million.
So they already paid him that money, right? I think he could be on the team as maybe like the backup / bridge, but he can't be the only quarterback added. Like they're going to need to sign a vet and they're going to draft someone, I believe. He cannot go into next year like it was this year where he's clearly starting for them because he's not good enough. And half his starts this year, he's had less than 60 passing yards.
Yeah, I was actually looking at like the draft order right now because I was actually worried with the Jets win. I was like, I hope this doesn't put them too far up from them getting a good QB in the draft. And yeah, as you can see right now, like Tennessee has a quarterback, Cleveland has a quarterback, the Giants have a quarterback. So realistically, you're
Cleveland
gonna
can move
get
on from Gabriel or Sanders, though. We'll see.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, I feel like they'll give both them a shot. I mean, they're giving Gabriel a shot right now. I feel like they'll give Shador a shot before they give anyone else a shot from the draft. So I feel like you're going to get the second best quarterback available.
Or they could trade up. And plus, it's November 11th. The order's going to change a lot over time. What if New Orleans feels like Tyler Shuck could be their guy if he plays really well down the stretch?
Yeah, that's very true. So you're going to get a very good draft prospect right there.
I
And
hope.
then you also have the Colts first round pick next year. So if they lose in like the wild card or whatever, that's like what, a low 20 pick right there.
Yep. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Would you want to like trade for like Winston or something to get some like I don't know, some veteran leadership in there?
Yeah,
Get
someone
some-
like that, Jacoby Brissett, that type of QB, someone that you could run an offense with. Because Fields, he's just too erratic as a passer. You can't run a conventional NFL offense with him. I mean, it's half his games. He can't complete a pass.
Yeah, and there was one pass, I think it was like 32 yards or something. That was half his passing yards right there. Just
The
that
Brees Hall
one play
screen.
right there. Yeah.
100%. But I'll tell you what, Chase, you got to keep us posted on Mad Max. All right, we're off to a good start, but you know how he is. We got to make sure he doesn't fall off the wagon here.
Don't worry, I will. I got you covered.
All right, Chase, job well done. Appreciate
All
you.
right, thank you.
Chase Donovan, Mad Max classmate, checking in. Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I have quite the surprise for longtime viewers of the show. Joining us on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline right now is Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hello, everyone. YouTube.
Scott, how are you?
What's up? Hanging in there. How are
look
you?
Good, Scott. I like the beard.
Nah, it's scruffy, but you know, the beard of wisdom, right? So
You offer plenty of wisdom.
always, right? What am I here for? Maybe.
What's new, Scott? How we feeling about the Jets?
Man. If I'm a coach, I don't have a quarterback. I don't have long-term contracts, big heavy contracts, second contracts where they're getting, 27 to 30. I don't have a lot of those. A lot of cap space. 5 number ones in 2 years. 3 number twos because we picked up the second with Q, the Dallas deal. We got Charles Gorman back. Hey, it's got to count for something.
I don't think
But
we have him
overall,
back. Though.
if I'm a
He's still a
coach,
Colts fan.
oh, well then, you know what? Not even to the hole. We got to extend the hole. Like extend the contract, but all the assets are there. But you need someone to run a system that's NFL ready. Remember, McVay said, "I can win with Goff. You give me Stafford, I can win the Super Bowl." There's a difference, dude. A slight, but top echelon, yep. Now you got to look at how much does he bring. Like even if we brought in Burrows, okay, fine. Give up the draft picks. They're all going to be what 15 to 22 late to middle round first picks. Colts, Dallas, and Green Bay evolve, of course. But we can do that. What's around him? Not offensively, defensively, who's just in a tight game or a scoring game, you can just rush 4. If you can rush 4 and cause havoc, that's the deal. They all do motion. They all go backside infiltration. It's just if you can rush 4 consistently, you can do a lot with that. If you can't, so we need to get somebody here with the ego and the philosophy. Apparently, Attorney General Aaron has it in Woody's ear. Or I don't know what's going on with him and Muji or who has the power. I don't know. I'm not in.
I think you have the power.
Potentially. But the point is though, who's making decisions? Are you running the offense, the defense, and running yourself thin like a Belichick? Run the offense. This is not an offense. Our quarterback is not NFL ready.
Do you think we need more box manipulation?
I think recognizing box manipulation is key to it.
With some backside infiltration.
Oh, yeah. Lucifer's chessboard. Don't forget about that. It's always apparent. So,
what's on the agenda today, Scott?
How about some log removal? What was that? I didn't catch that.
What's on the agenda today?
Oh. Leg bone training and lard removal. Not a good combination.
Lard removal, huh?
Oh, yeah. Getting lean. As they say, bro hug, bro. Hey, bro, get lean, bro. No. It's fucking clowns. So anyway. But yeah, so a lot of leg training. Low caloric intake. Sucks. See, we're in week 10. Got 8 more weeks of this fucking shit. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's how I do it.
Scott, call back soon. Your internet connection was a little choppy at the end there. Mike in the raffle for one. Little 2-for-1 special. Show's winding down. Going to raffle away 3 signed items. Wayne Corbett, signed football. Joe Klecko, signed helmet. Darrelle Revis, signed football. We're giving you a chance to enter that today and next week's raffle, which will include a signed Darrelle Revis helmet as the top prize. Dan says, Brigga, if we went to the moon, who filmed it? LOL. Uh-oh. Don't you dare discuss the moon landing with Dave Brigga, Dan. Don't you dare. All right, more of your calls, but quickly, we have a Beast Breaker in the Wild sighting.
You tell me how crazy I am. I just took 4 chair headshots.
Good morning, America. We're outside the CTA Orange Line. We're on our way to You Save Big Money. You save big money when you shop Menards. That's right. We're just waiting for a train, which is 8 minutes long, which is going to be like an old grandfather clock. Well, it's Veterans Day. I do want to give a support to my grandfather and his brother who served in World War II as a sign of respect. And here comes the loop train. Ain't that lovely? One word. Wow. It's like doing the Clear Eyes commercial from Ben Stein going, Clear Eyes are the ingredients to moisturize. Wow. And look what's not too far from me. You want to see what's not too far from me?
There you go. You see where that's at. A high school meant for a champion who's built that place from top to bottom.
Now that you see it, it's like a magic trick. Now you see it?
Beast, thank you. Enjoy your day. More of your calls right now. We got some legends on the line. Here we go. Let's hear from one of them to kick off this next batch of calls.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Jake, my brother. What's going on? You're muted. Am I muted?
I don't think I'm muted.
Oh, there you go. What's going on, Jake?
You got to take that?
No. You know, you got all twisted the other day when I was with Peter when we started mocking Sauce. You're such a little Sauce truther. You got to stop.
You talk about him like he's terrible. If he went for 2 first-round picks, obviously the league does not view him as a terrible player.
Man, let me tell you something. You know, more people view him. What's his name? The guy on the fan with the BT. The other guy. What's his name?
Sal Licata.
Sal Licata, man. He's not a Jet fan, but he said, "Man, Sauce Gardner is so overrated." He was ripping Sauce. But anyway, off that subject, I want to see screens, quick releases, snap the ball, get it out, quick. If nothing's open, take off. I just can't understand, Jake, why this guy is not running when he can't pass the ball. I don't understand why Tyler Engstrom has this moron sitting in the pocket waiting to get sacked. I just don't understand. I watch these other offenses make adjustments. I watch all the – we're going to get smoked if they don't make changes, Jake. I mean, are my eyes deceiving me, or is just this horrible?
I feel like we have said this every week since Fields returned from the concussion, right? Because they did a good job of using his legs and having creative play calls in the one game in the opener. And since then, we really have not seen the RPOs, the quarterback power, like just ways to utilize what he does do. So you're right. I don't know why they haven't done more of it. It's not like we could say, oh, the O-line can't block. It's just not true. It's why I would start Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, but you know, Tyrod Taylor doesn't have the ability to run like Justin Fields does. I mean, I'm watching all these quarterbacks. You know, yesterday I'm watching quarterbacks take off, get 20, 30 yards at a pop, you know, run out of the pocket when they don't see an open receiver. And he's just not doing that. And you know, there's got to be something wrong. There's got to be. I mean, this happened with Zach too, Jake, if you remember. There was a point in Zach's last year that he just refused to run with the ball. And I'm seeing the same thing with this guy. I don't understand it. I don't get it. He's a big, strong guy. He runs quickly to the sideline. He can't, when he slides late and gets smacked. And if they just could replicate the first game that he played, we'd be competitive against the Patriots. Wouldn't we, or what? I mean, I think we could be competitive. I don't think we're going to be as competitive with Tyrod as we could with Justin if he does what he did in the first game. And it's not like it's, you know, some miraculous thing. All you got to do is make the plays the way they were in the first game. Just replicate that game plan and run it out there.
Well, the problem is, though, Neil, he's never been able to consistently replicate what he did in that first game or the Bengals game, right? That's why he keeps getting chances, but why he hasn't stuck with any team. Why Mike Tomlin chose to still bench him with the team at 4-2 and never go back to him a year ago. He's talented enough to stick around, but he's not good enough to consistently do some of the things we've seen him do. That's what's so maddening about the player. He's a good dude. I don't think it's a lack of effort. Something is just not clicking where he can consistently play the quarterback position. Forget at a high level, just at a more consistent level. Like if he was mediocre, this team would be capable of being in more games and winning more games. But his high is so high and his lows are so low, he's unplayable. Half his starts, he has less than 60 yards passing.
I know. I was the one that threw the stats out there too. But look, one jet sweep for we got to utilize this kid 18 more. What's his name again? The punt returner. He comes
Isaiah Williams.
Williams has got to come in on more jet sweeps. You know, the jet sweep worked once. We got 18 yards on it, and we didn't use it again. We do a screen to Brees. He gets a 50-yard touchdown, and we don't do another screen. We haven't seen a tight end screen since the preseason game to Stone Smart. What the F are we doing? Why over and over again is it a draw play to the left side of the ball where there's 3 guys on Brees and he's got to duck out of the way? I mean, the play calling is absolutely atrocious.
You're right.
Can't believe we're back to this again.
But I also think Engstrand is handcuffed by how bad Fields is too. So play Tyrod, and maybe they can incorporate some of the screen games and just some of the things you're trying to do. Even throwing downfield. I showed the passing chart before. Neil, when was the last time you saw a quarterback, a professional quarterback, in his 5th year finish a full game with only 2 passes completed in front of the line of scrimmage? That's insane. He only threw 1 pass longer than 25 yards here. The top left, which was incomplete. Like they don't throw downfield with him. And I don't know if it's because he's afraid to do it or they're not calling the plays for him to do it, but you're not running a real offense with Justin Fields as your quarterback in half these games.
The thing that's even more glaring to me and more disgusting to me is the fact that all year long, he has only had 2 runs of over 20 yards. One was the 40-something yard, 4th down busted play, and another one for like 23 yards. That's the more egregious thing. You have a running quarterback that had 1,000 yards rushing in a season, and he's not even got through. He has 250 yards in 8 games. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. That is abominable. Joe Flacco has more yards per carry at the quarterback position at 40 years old. I mean, I look at Stafford. I look at these guys move around, and they just know if something's not open to take off. I think what they have to do, Jake, very simple. They're giving this guy an opportunity to check out of plays. If I'm Angstrom, I'm saying you run the goddamn play that I give you, win, lose, or draw, run the play, do not audible out of it, and maybe that'll, something. Or else you don't audible out of it. You will do this, don't audible out of it, or we're putting Tyrod in and you're riding the bench. Bottom line, they got to give this guy an ultimatum. Otherwise, he's going to ruin his career here. That's all I got, Jake. Take care.
Neil?
To all the vets. Thank you for your service. That's it. Wave that flag, baby. That's the flag.
I agree with everything Neil just said. He's right. The problem is it Angstrom not calling some of this stuff? Or is Fields just not able to execute any of this? I don't know, man. It's just it's hard to believe he's in his 5th year and this is the stuff we're talking about. It's just even yesterday, right? This was Glenn trying to excuse Fields' performance, being like, well, he only had 11 passes.
Other than that, I would say this: please don't ask me anything about the quarterback, because I'm not going to tell you, and I don't want to waste my time when it comes to that. When it comes to who's starting. So, any other questions?
Aaron, after watching the tape, how would you evaluate the way Justin played yesterday?
You know what? Collectively, as an offense, I think we did some good things. The thing is, when you get 2 returns like that on special teams, the offense doesn't have a good amount of plays, especially in the passing game. We only threw 11 passes. I think he was 6 of 11. Obviously, there's some things that we got to clean up there. But there are also some good things that he did. I know he threw the 1 pick. I would say this: I was happy that he tried to force the ball, get the ball downfield in that situation. I thought Cleveland did a hell of a job in that coverage. They ran this inverted 2 where the safety would end up being the middle runner. And I thought they did a good job with that.
Aaron, I'm not going to ask you specifically about who's starting, obviously, because you don't want us to do that. But I am curious, is this like a week-by-week, day-by-day thing for you? Because it is unusual, having led you guys for help lead you to 2 wins in a row. Is that, or is this a constant evaluation, I guess is what I'm asking?
Well, I keep telling you guys, between the players and myself, we know exactly who's going to be the quarterback. I mean, I just don't have to tell you guys that.
I understand that, but I mean, what goes into that is what I'm asking.
They practice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a season. ISU in the raffle. He's in for 1. All right. Keep it rolling here. A couple calls left. I mentioned we got legends on the line. This guy was voted best Asmaniac caller for his takes.
Let's start first with Jake Asman show business.
Yes, sir.
I think that Hamburger was not explicitly calling for the demise of Joe Namath. I think he just believes in the curse and doesn't think that the winning will start until Joe unfortunately passes. I think there's a nuance there. It's a difference. I don't think that, we all know Hamburger seems like he's a good family guy. It doesn't seem like he's malicious in any way. I don't think he was explicitly calling for Joe Namath's death.
You make a salient point there, and I can confirm Hamburger is a good family man.
Yes. Also, I think that this guy Chase, there's been a long standing unsaid Jake Asman show tradition: snitches get stitches. So I don't get the whole ratting out Mad Max to, this guy's in college. He might be out late hanging with the ladies, whatever. He'll get to class when he gets there. It's his job to learn how to balance his personal life, his academic life, all the other stuff he's got going on. He can do it. We have great faith in our Mad Max, but I don't know about inserting yourself into ratting him out to the entire community. It doesn't seem
Well,
right
we
to me.
found out originally that Mad Max was late through him, but now we're trying to rectify Mad Max's life, Kyle, by having him be on time, ready to learn in class.
I think our heart is in the right place, Jake. But obviously that's something that Max has to do it on his own. It's probably the right thing to call it to his attention, but this guy Chase keeping tabs on it doesn't sit right with me.
You know what? I haven't thought of that, but that is a fair point. Look, I just want Mad Max to be on time to class and do a good job. That's all we're looking to see.
Also, Beast. It is a sign of a gentleman to pick one's nose with their pinky and to eat it. That's the first thing they teach you at the finishing school annex at Hogwarts. It's very important that people realize this. You don't get to become a gentleman wizard without learning how to do that. So in his defense, that is the way to do it. You do it with your index finger, your middle finger, or worse, blow it into a tissue and eat it out of there. Worse, much worse. So that's where we stand with the show business. As far as the Jets go, it's got to be not Fields. I don't care who it is on Thursday night, but like we're not, as they say in Kansas City, matriculating the ball downfield, and I think that really falls on Justin Fields. So, whether it's Tyrod or this other guy from Missouri, I don't really care who it is. Let's see somebody else and give them an opportunity, because this was the opportunity for Fields to save his career, and that has come and gone. That's how I feel about that. And as far as the draft goes, in creating a wait and see attitude for the 2026 draft as far as quarterbacks go, leaning towards 2027 and waiting. I understand that we have the capital to go up and get a guy if we want. I just don't see the guy that warrant that expenditure of draft capital yet. Maybe I'll feel differently after the playoff. Maybe I'll feel differently after, I've read some of the experts and there's been some interviews and, I get a little bit more comfort with one of these guys, but I'm just not there yet. And that's just a feeling. It's not etched in stone. Like, it could very well end up that Mendoza is the guy, or that Damian Moore is the guy, or any of these guys are the guy. But I'm just not there yet. I want to make sure that we are bringing in good players into the fold and are ready to hit the ground running after the 2027 draft. That's where I fall on it. Thanks for your time.
Kyle, all fair. And there's just so much that's going to play out with these quarterbacks. and the draft positioning, what veterans are available. I will say, our offseason is going to be absolutely insane. It will be exciting. We usually win the offseason. I mean, we're taking it to new levels. All right, before we get to the last few calls, let's recap Neil's call brought to you by Boomtown. Point 1, notes that there's a guy on the radio that agrees with his Sauce take. Point 2, doesn't understand why Fields won't run. Point 3, notes that Joe Flacco has a higher yards per carry than Justin Fields. Point 4, Neil salutes all the veterans. Neil used 4 of his 13 points this call. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chuck Wagon's next. Hello, Chuck.
Hey, Jake, I'll be brave. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. I went online and looked up what the record is for least amount of turnovers in the season, and it's the Saints with 8. So if I put the over/under at 8 for the whole season for the Jets, so you take an over or under for turnovers?
Under.
Damn it! I was hoping you would say over. I wanted to bet $100.
No, they don't force turnovers. They have 1 so far. Why would I think they're going to get 7 more?
I really thought you were going to say over. Dang. Okay, never mind. Going to what Kyle said about waiting till 2027. What's your plan for 26 then? I mean,
probably a veteran or draft someone in the second round that's not a first round guy. I don't want to wait. I'm not waiting. If I like one of these quarterbacks and I think I'll like at least 1 or 2 of them, I'm getting them.
I was going to say why. That's why I was thinking. Why would you wait later in the 26 draft when there's one possibly right there in the first round? And again, we don't know how the Colts are going to end the season, but you got 2 shots. I think you got to go get it.
Curly wants to know why you need my validation to make a shitty bet.
I need a validation. No, I wanted to bet with Jake to see. I really thought he was going to go over. I really thought he would have been more optimistic and been positive and said over.
Why though? The defense has been a disaster for most of the year.
Oh, I agree, but I just thought that you would have gone over.
Interesting. All right.
Okay.
What's going on there, Chuck? Everything okay?
Yeah.
So
my wife just got home.
The wife, you said your wife were, it sounded like there was like a dog.
No, my dog's here too.
I see. What type of dog do you have, Chuck?
Black Lab.
Nice. Chuck, you hurting for money? Do you need $100?
Nope.
No? You good?
Yeah, that was it. I'll let you go, and I'll see you probably at the 4 o'clock show.
Chuck, looking forward to it.
All right, here we go, Jake. All right, here we go.
Our last caller before the weekly raffle is
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey, Jake, how's it going?
Hello, Adam.
All right, so here's the game script. Tyrod starts. We unfortunately lose the flip, but we get first possession. We march down the field and inexplicably score 7. And now all of a sudden we've got New England off bounds because they're like, what is this team and who are we facing now? That's the ideal scenario for Thursday. What do you think?
Okay. I hope that works. I
One
think
can dream.
the idea of Tyrod Taylor playing gives us a better chance to win, so I like that.
Yeah. Well, I think if we score first, it'll change the dynamic right off the bat. It'll just all of a sudden make this a very different perception of the game. Like all of a sudden, oh wait, this offense works now. Oh wait, we can get more than one game in a row of good tackle play as well. And I know Olu was kind of having some dips this season. It was great to see him contain Myles Garrett.
Have the Jets had an opening drive touchdown this season? I'm trying to remember.
Don't remember, but boy, would that be great to have that on Thursday.
I don't think they have. They should have against Miami, and then Braylon fumbled at the goal line.
Oh yeah.
No against Dallas. No Tampa. I'm just thinking of all the guys. No, obviously Buffalo. No week 1. No the last game. No the previous game against Carolina or Cincinnati. No the game against Denver. I don't think they've had an opening drive touchdown all year, so that'd be new.
That'd be great, right?
Pittsburgh, they kicked the field goal. I see JD Surf City thinking Pittsburgh. They settled for 3.
Kicked the field goal, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean
they're due. They're due.
They're due. I mean, this is definitely the kind of game that like you could win through by surprise, because I think the Patriots are definitely not taking the Jets seriously. I could see this happening. Like they're in the lead, they're feeling comfortable.
I don't know. They got Mike Vrabel though. I don't think he's going to allow them to feel comfortable.
He's not on the field, and that team hasn't made the playoffs yet. So we'll have to see when it's all.
But that's more reason why they wouldn't feel comfortable. None of those guys have accomplished anything as Patriots, so they're still motivated.
Yeah, fair enough, but one can dream. I was rewatching the clips of the Membu dance. Now I understand why everybody was laughing about that. Just to see like a huge guy like that move, and especially just like at the end, just like I just love the attitude. I don't know about you. How many times have you watched that dance?
I think it's great. The people have had some amazing memes for it too.
It's so good. It was so perfect too, and like you could tell his personality. It's just unreal. Like I just thought that was what a cool like sign from Membu. Like I love that attitude. I just thought it was awesome and perfect. It was playful and perfect at the perfect time. So good on Membu. Good on the pick. I think it was a great pick. I hope that Membu and Olu are tackles for the future. I was thinking also with the draft. Because we have that late round first, let's assume that's a late rounder at this point from the Colts, and then we have 2 second rounders. We could move up to like middle of the first round. So like even if people are like, oh, so and so quarterback is not worth a top 10 pick, like you might be able to pick them up with the 15th if you trade your first and second to move up, and you still pick someone in the top 5. Maybe it is a non-quarterback. Like there could be a really impact player that's there. I'm not necessarily against it, but I just think we have a ton of options, even in the first round, to really get 2 impact players. And I hope that that's who we end up getting when it's all said and done. And I'm on the band of draft a QB each year, draft one in 26, draft one in 27. Like just do it. And if you're 50% right, you still have your quarterback of the future. But if you get all fancy and put all your eggs in one basket, we're not in this position. We got to stop playing this game.
I completely agree, Adam. They need to get a quarterback. I'm not waiting until 27, though. But, yeah, double up if you want to. You could do the RG3, Kirk Cousins, the Trey Lance, Brock Purdy thing if you want even. We need a QB. That's what it all comes down to. Till we get one, it's tough. Matty P's in the raffle for 1. Dez with a super chat getting him more entries. To be fair to Beast, he hadn't eaten for a whole 7 minutes, so he definitely needed to eat what he is picking. Abra Kaburgers. Yikes. All right, folks. Who's ready for a weekly raffle? We got 3 items to raffle away. Let's go.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Let's go, baby. The Wheel of Champions is on your screen. This is everyone who's entered over the last week and everyone who entered today. And if you enter today, not only are you in this raffle, but you will automatically be in next week's raffle as well. Did a little 2-for-1 special today. Our first prize we will raffle away is a signed Wayne Corbett football. That's right, Mr. Third Down. Robby Sabo's podcast co-host. If you win, you have to email me your name, your address to asmanjake@gmail.com so I know where to send it to. Good luck to everyone. But the winner of the Wayne Corbett football is Ladies and gentlemen, we just heard from him on the phone line. Kyle Clifton is your winner. Yeah. Shout out to Kyle. He's winner number 1. All right. Can only win 1 prize per raffle, so we remove Kyle's name. And now we spin the wheel again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Matt L. What did he win? Well, he just won a Joe Klecko signed helmet. Hell yeah. To Matt L. That's Matt's second raffle win over the last couple of weeks. He won a signed Wall-Clad Frazier jersey on the show not that long ago. Okay. That brings us to our grand prize, folks, which is a signed Darrelle Revis football. Ladies and gentlemen, the final winner is Papa Jet. Hey, shout out to Papa Jet, one of the real good guys in the community. Great winners today. Again, shout out to the winners. Give them a Jet chant. Corbett Ball, Kyle Clifton, Klecko helmet, Matt L, Revis football, Papa Jet again. Hit it. Thank you to everyone who supports these weekly raffles. We're on to next week. We will have another Revis-related item as the top prize, and we're working on additional prizes as well. Again, thank you all for your support. Couldn't do it without you. Quick super chat at the end here from JVB, who says it's his 40th birthday, so happy birthday to JVB. Go Jets. Tune in this afternoon. We'll have a little film review with Joe Blewett. We'll talk about the state of the team. And Joe's been watching some film on quarterbacks, so I might ask him to show us a little college tape to kind of wet the beak a little bit, because we're all talking about the future of that position now and going forward. Again, thanks to everyone who tuned in. Big thank you to Robby Sabo for joining us at the beginning of the show. Couldn't have done it without him. I leave you guys with a clip I think you'll enjoy. You'll laugh. You might cry. I don't know. But sit back and enjoy. And as always, Jets, 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 Jets.
I'm better, Beast. How you doing?
Hey, how you? Hey, you know we sang you that Whopper song. Hey, Jake, let's give him that Whopper song. Whopper, Whopper at BK. We're on the move at BK. Have it your way. You rule.
You rule, yeah.
Hey, I hope you get that job at Burger King, my friend.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.